What up? What up? YouTube was good. Was good with y'all. Another day, Saturday. What's going on with y'all, man? I'm just here chilling. Over here trying to see what they do. Oh yeah, so I ain't gonna be on here long, man. I'm just about to report on something out of the thing today. You know what I'm saying? Just about to get in on a couple of things real quick. Without further ado, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I thought I've seen a couple of things, man. I'm over here on this YouTube space, man. So I'm just like, what's really good, man? What's really going on? So yeah, man. So we're gonna talk about this Robert Brooks thing. We're gonna talk about the Vivek Ramaswamy and what's the dude's name? Elon Musk thing too, man. We're gonna break in, give me a couple of these situations. You know what I'm saying? So word. You know what I'm saying? So let me get into this real quick. All right. This little thing about what's this dude? Robert Brooks, man. My thing is whatever the case is with this video, these events, I just think that they always put it out when it's us. When it's other groups, they don't put this out, and then you hear the same other groups saying that this type of stuff happens to them more, or they say that this type of stuff happens to them. But you're talking about this type of stuff happens to you, but it's not put all on the internet for everybody gets to see 24 hours. You know what I'm saying? Every hour on the hour. So that's a totally different situation when it comes down to us. All right, so I'm gonna break this down real quick, man. All right. Let me play a couple. You know what I'm saying, let me play a couple of little takes from this real quick, man. Videos real quick, and all right. Fair use. Disclaimer: Section 107 of the Copyright Act, 1976. Allowances made for me to report on this video for commentary and educational purposes. All right, so let's go. But see, it's so graphic and disturbing. Why would you even play it? That's what I'm talking about, right? But see, they only do that with us. You ain't gonna never see no Creed person getting treated like this. You ain't gonna never see no other group or no other people getting done like this on TV. So let's go. Let you know that there's an agenda. Let's go. Whether people think it or not. So there's no sound, right? Is this sound? There's no sound. Yeah, there's no sound. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's any sound. Wait, hold on. Let me play something else real quick. Let's see if there's sound. Oh, so there's just no sound on here. All right. Bear with me. There ain't no sound on here, man. Bear with me, y'all. I don't know. Ain't no sound, so I gotta. Mhm. So they already had beat on them by now, right? Trying to restrain his legs. Why would you? So you punch somebody in the back in the butt area? Interesting. I mean, I mean, what did this dude do so bad to where he deserved to get beat down like that? It's like these people just no emotion, just I don't know, man. It's demons. That's how I look at it. Devils and demons, man. Why they take the volume out though? Hmm. I just think. I mean, I just don't see how people. But these correction officers and these people be beating down on people like that there all the time, every day. So it ain't a surprise. Um, Lee Baca had a big scandal out here in California some years back. Um, you know, I mean, and to film something like this, and whatever kind of camera, body camera, whatever, this says reinforced and lets you know that all you need to know right there. They just knew that they was gonna get away with this. They just knew that somebody was gonna see this and was just gonna clear this and just be like, oh, nothing to see here, business as usual. So crazy situation though, man. That's foul. They do us like that though. That's procedure to do us like that. And everybody smiling and laughing and get grinning, but my question is, why does this video keep turning on and off like that? Redacting the video, huh? Redacting the video. I wonder why they did that. Why would you bring somebody in like that? Like. Well, I tell you, boy, like when is this gonna be enough? You know what I'm saying? It's like, for our people to just see that we actually need to come together and actually come with some solutions and come together, common cause. Oh, should kick somebody in the stomach. What the hell? But see, the question is, okay, you've seen all this and you've seen these officers doing all this to him, right? But my question is, what's going to happen to them? Is anything going to actually happen to these people? Are they going to get prosecuted? That's when I be tripping off when I see videos like this. It's like, okay, what's going to happen? So when nothing happens, you give the appearance that it's okay to do it, and somebody could do it again, especially somebody white. So it looks like they got him in the corner. Laughing like it's funny, but it's just like a lot of interesting little details. Seems like, I mean, the fact that you can't hear no audio says a lot. They took out the audio. What they do? Strip them down? What the hell are they doing? These people, man, these people is sick and wicked, man. But at the same time, my thing is, would they have done that to somebody else of another race? No, I mean they do stuff like that to people in prison, and you hear stories, but when it's us, boy, it's just at a different level, a different extent. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just think it's, you know what I'm saying, it's foul, man. At the end of the day, this is foul. When are we gonna? What are we gonna? What and when are we gonna learn from this? See what I'm saying? When are we gonna say, you know what, enough is enough and come together? But I don't know, man. So let me get another, what's the name on this? All right, let me get some reporting. There's no reporting. Let me see.
You're the person with the gun, the person who would do anything to protect the ones you love.
Since you can't,
but did you know
volume?
This isn't in New York City. This is in New York State. But live picture there over New York City Harbor there in Lady Liberty. What I want to do now.
You got to realize these people are racist. These Italians in New York. I'm from New York. Italians, these Jews, these Irish people do not like black people. And a lot of these correctional CO people are those backgrounds, right? So we got to remember, man, just because you have a badge, or just because you know what I'm saying, wear a certain hat, or just because you have a certain kind of title at a job, doesn't mean that you're not going to be racist or not unprofessional or discriminatory. You know what I mean? So these are people at the end of the day, man. You know what I'm saying? People going to do what people do and be ignorant and hateful and spiteful and jealous and envious.
Now, because we heard from New York Attorney General Letitia James, also from Governor Kathy Hochul, James releasing footage from the investigation into the death of Robert Brooks here. I want to put this tweet up. This is from our colleague there at Fox 5 New York, Linda Schmidt, with body camera footage there. I mean, remember, viewer discretion is advised. She says, upstate prisoner beaten to death. Correction officers' body cam videos were released today by Letitia James.
But that's it? Just fired? For beating somebody to death? That's it? Just fired, right? That's when I see these stories, I'm like, you know what I mean? You ain't going to prosecute the person, the people. You're not going to. I mean, I don't know. I just think that just goes to show, too, when one of us dies, it doesn't really mean nothing, man. You talking about firing these people. You're not talking about prosecuting these people. You're not talking about, I want to hear, a full blown, it's not really an investigate because it's on camera, but I want to. And it's crazy because you get the police to arrest the police, you get the internal affairs, you get, you know what I'm saying, the FBI, and just like there's not really no, good form, of investigation, as far as I'm concerned. You see what I'm saying? So we got to be mindful when it comes down to certain stuff like this. Dog boss, salute, what up, man?
James, in the death of Robert Brooks at the Marcy Correctional Facility. And Hochul has issued a statement as well. It says 14 people will be fired over this. So this is an ongoing investigation into the death of...
My thing, just fired? Somebody loses, so one of us dies and then people just talk about getting fired. Okay. Damn.
Robert Brooks, he died December the 10th of this year after an encounter with New York State Department of Corrections and Community Supervision.
Encounter, no. Getting beat up is not an encounter. Encounter, like trying to make it seem like it was mutual, like it was both ways, an encounter. They beat him down. How's that I don't know.
Officers, this was at Marcy Correctional Facility in Marcy, New York. That's in Oneida County. Now, the day before, on December the 9th, Brooks was transferred from Mohawk Correctional Facility to Marcy Correctional Facility. Those are both in the same county, Oneida County, according to James. Brooks, she says, who was handcuffed with his hands behind his back, was then taken into a medical examination room where the events captured in the video took place here. So remember, we want to bring you some of this body...
like that by the neck? See, that's what I mean, the crazy thing about it, there's anti-chokehold laws and stuff like that in New York. There's certain laws on the book prevent, against that. But yet people still do it. And when somebody does it to us, then nothing really happens. And nobody ever brings up those laws.
Any camera video, viewer discretion is advised. Let's take some of that.
Let's see, once
All right,
again.
so this was just released today by
right?
the Office of New York Attorney General Tish James here. And so what you're watching right now is the moment in the wake of the transfer of Brooks from one facility to another here. So according to James, when he was transferred to this medical examination room, you're going to see it in just a moment, he was pronounced dead.
What I trip off is they put these videos out. Okay, is there gonna Letitia James or whoever office told them to put it out and give it to the media? But is anybody gonna be prosecuted for any of this? So what's the, if nobody gets prosecuted for any of this, what's the purpose? So you put it out to show, you know what I'm saying, which is good, so people can really see what happened to the man. But at the same time, is there going to be any prosecution of the police or the correctional officers that did this? I don't know, man. I just think, is enough enough? Are we tired of getting played with and getting played?
Dead in the early morning hours of December
don't think
10th.
so.
But the action here, all right, we're going to watch it. Viewer discretion is advised. And there is Brooks there after being transferred from one facility to another. You are going to see the actions, and it's very difficult to watch. It's graphic. Officers there appearing to beat Brooks there.
Appearing. You see how the media, it's appearing. Didn't he? So is our eyes deceiving us or no? It's appearing that they're beating him up. Appearing. Boy. Trying to give this cop some empathy, sympathy. Pay attention to that. Let's go. Trying to give them some empathy and sympathy.
All right, so if you're just joining us for this story, this is what we know. This body-worn camera released by Attorney General Tish James's office that appears to show members of the New York State Department of Corrections and Community Supervision officers there at Marcy Correctional Facility beating Robert Brooks. Brooks was handcuffed with his hands behind his back. He was then taken to a medical examination room there where the events captured in the video took place, she says. Now, Brooks was then transported to a local hospital where he was pronounced dead in the early morning hours of December the 10th there. Now, Governor Hochul's office said 14 members here have been fired for their role in this. We also are getting statements in.
Just fired. That's it. No prosecution. No prosecution. Just fired. Just like when they say, oh, we're gonna give you some treatment. We're gonna give you a dosage of something. We're gonna give you something for the problem, but they're not gonna give you the cure, right? Treatment. No cure, right? You know what I'm saying?
From elected leaders in New York. We're going to step away from this video. You're going to hear from James in just a second here. Let's put this up.
My thing is, I don't want to hear nothing from none of these politicians. If nobody's going to get prosecuted, what's the point of hearing anything from them? So some more symbolism. They're not, it was wrong and this and that, but they're not talking about anybody getting prosecuted.
So this is from State Senator of New York, Rob Ortt. He says this: I'm sickened by the brutal and senseless attack at Marcy Correctional Facility. The footage is absolutely appalling, and these violent actions cannot be tolerated. While this incident will understandably outrage...
See how they trying to sympathize with them again? Why are you sympathizing? Oh, no, they risked their lives. We're not talking about them risking their life in this situation. We're talking about them taking somebody's life. I don't know. I just don't see. I don't get it. I don't do it.
New Yorkers, it's important to recognize that this horrific event does not reflect the dedicated service of the countless correction officers who risk their lives.
Deflecting tactics is real. These people know how to deflect the best. The best deflects.
Lives every day to maintain order and safety in our prison.
What does any of that have to do with him being murdered? Nothing. Nothing. And you got a Republican chiming in, so you know he ain't gonna give a damn. And the Democrats, they gonna front and act like they give a damn, like Letitia James, but ain't nobody gonna get prosecuted.
Wow. He says those responsible must be held fully accountable. There is no excuse for this behavior. That's from New York State Senator Rob Ortt. In the meantime here, let's play the original announcement today by New York State Attorney General Letitia James.
Good afternoon. Today, my office is releasing video from the investigation into
why her voice sound like that? Oh, shit. The voice sound deeper than mine.
The death of Mr. Robert Brooks. Mr. Brooks had been incarcerated at Mohawk Correctional Facility and was transferred to Marcy Correctional Facility on December 9th. During the incident, he was handcuffed with his hands behind his back. He was pronounced dead at Wynn Hospital in Utica on December 10th. I do not take lightly the release of this video, especially in the middle of the holiday season.
What is it? I don't care about no holiday season. What is the holiday season got? These people. Symbolism. Let's go.
But as attorney,
shit, it don't matter when he got killed. Motherfucker, he got killed. Well, he got killed in Kwanzaa. Well, Juneteenth. He's still dead.
Attorney General, I release these videos because I have a responsibility and duty to provide the Brooks family, their loved ones.
Why does her voice sound scratchy like that? You know what I mean? It just sounds like somebody just hit the nails on the chalkboard real quick.
And all New Yorkers with transparency and accountability. My deepest condolences go out to Mr. Brooks's family. Under New York law, my office investigates every case in which an officer of the law, including a correctional officer, may have caused the death of a civilian. On December 16th, my office announced that it had opened an investigation into Mr. Brooks's death. As in every case, the attorneys and investigators in my office are conducting an exhaustive review of the facts and the evidence. As Attorney General, you have my word that we will use every possible tool available to us to investigate this death thoroughly and swiftly. As part of the investigation,
say nothing about prosecution, though. Oh.
My office obtained video from body-worn cameras that 4 of the correction officers were wearing at the time of the incident. The 4 officers had their body-worn cameras powered on, but did not activate them. So their cameras were recording video in standby mode without recording sound. My team met with Mr. Brooks's family earlier this week.
Nope, they're just gonna probably get some money and that's it. They ain't gonna get no justice. None of these correctional officers is gonna go to jail. You know
and they viewed the footage.
Ain't nobody. A lot of YouTubers ain't gonna tell you that.
These videos.
No, none of these people are gonna go to jail. It's sad, but the cycle keeps continuing. Y'all don't see how they keep playing us. I don't know.
Those are shocking and disturbing.
Joke.
And I advise all to take appropriate care before choosing to watch them. We are releasing 8 videos today from 4 officers' body-worn cameras. 4 videos, one from each officer that each run for the full 30 minutes length of the standby mode recording, and a second version of the same 4 videos.
Okay, so they got it on standby mode. Wow.
Which have been cropped to show only footage involving Mr. Brooks and the interactions between the officers and Mr. Brooks. Again, I encourage taking caution before viewing. I want to reiterate that we are investigating this case thoroughly and using every tool at our disposal to ensure that there is transparency and accountability for the events that preceded Mr. Brooks's death. I also want to make clear that this video and the conduct of these officers should not reflect poorly on the work and professionalism of the countless correction officers and correctional facility
There
nurses
you go, caping.
throughout the state who go to work
Here we go,
every
giving them
day.
sympathy. They ain't giving his family empathy or sympathy, but giving the officers empathy. You blame the victim.
To protect and serve those in their care.
Okay.
And now we will play the 4 cropped videos I mentioned earlier. And all 8 videos will be.
All right, so that was the message there from Tish James. So wanted to make sure we got that in. We do have the statement up from New York Governor Kathy Hochul here. Let's put this up. She says, like all New Yorkers, I was outraged and horrified after seeing footage of the senseless killing of Robert Brooks.
That's it.
She goes on to say, I have been clear that is the responsibility of the New York State Department of Corrections and Community Supervision to provide appropriate care and protection for those in its custody, and I will not tolerate anyone who violates that responsibility. She says that is why I ordered an immediate and full investigation.
But nobody's going to get prosecuted. None of these people. Let's see if this watch. I mark my words. I don't want it to sound like that. If any of these people get prosecuted. You know what I'm saying?
Into the death of Robert Brooks and further directed DOCCS Commissioner Martuscello to begin the termination process for the 14 individuals.
That's it? So they're just going to get fired. Okay. Is that okay? So is that the process before? Right. Okay. So let's see if this is going to be the process before prosecution. Let's see, supposedly, right?
Individuals who were involved in his fatal attack. The state of New York has zero tolerance for individuals who break the law, and I am committed to holding everyone involved fully accountable. Once again, I want to offer my deepest condolences to Brooks's family and loved ones as they grieve his tragic death. I'm grateful to the Attorney General and her team, our state police, and everyone working with us to ensure justice is served in this case here. So wanted to make sure we put that statement up as well, covering this story from all sides, all angles there, and definitely that body camera footage, very difficult to watch. All
right, one more.
New details following the death of an inmate from Rochester at the Marcy Correctional Facility in central New York. Good evening, I'm Matt Malloy. Karen is off. Newly released court documents contain descriptions of the alleged assault of Robert Brooks earlier this month at that prison in central New York. The state attorney general now preparing to release body-worn camera video of the incident. 13 Wham's Daniel Finkelstein joins us now to break down what is in those documents. Daniel, good evening.
Good evening, Matt. The court paperwork we obtained today contains descriptions of the body-worn camera video reportedly showing the alleged assault. The deposition said alleged
assault, but you see him on camera get beat, right? It's an alleged assault, but you see him. So what's the point of them putting out the cameras just so that the media could report and say alleged assault? So they put out the camera, show you him being beat, and then the media says, "Oh, it's alleged." Okay, right. Telling you,
what happened?
Giving them cover.
Well, Brooks was restrained in the medical area of the prison. Newly released court paperwork details an investigator's account of body-worn camera footage purported to show the alleged assault of Robert Brooks at the hands of New York State corrections officers. According to a Department of Corrections investigator's written statement, body-worn camera footage shows multiple corrections officers repeatedly assaulting Brooks, striking him in the chest and buttocks area, all while Brooks' hands were restrained behind him in the medical area of the prison. Brooks, who is from Rochester, was pronounced dead at a Utica hospital on December 10th, one day after the alleged assault. The exact cause of Brooks' death has not officially been revealed, though preliminary findings show concern for asphyxia due to compression of the neck. State police filed an extreme risk protection order against 3 officers, while Governor Hochul is calling for 14 staff members to be fired. A spokesperson for the Correctional Association of New York called the incident a vicious assault, saying those who have watched the video called it incomprehensible. In a statement, the attorney for Brooks' family said in part, quote, "As expected, watching the horrific and violent final moments of Robert's life was devastating for his loved ones and will be disturbing to anyone who views the video following its release by the Attorney General's office. We will not rest until we have secured justice for Robert's memory and safety for the prisoners at Marcy Correctional Facility." End quote. Brooks was serving a 12-year sentence for assault and was convicted in Monroe County. We're told the AG's office expects to release that video soon. Matt, back to you.
You said it. None of that got to anything. Any of that got to do with anything. That's what I be tripping off. They be see they do that.
Once again, we begin tonight with the beating death of an inmate in a New York prison at the hands of multiple state corrections officers.
Yeah, we now have body camera footage showing what happened between 43-year-old Robert Brooks and those officers. This is Governor Kathy Hochul is calling for these state employees to lose their jobs. The encounter happening on December 9th at Marcy Correctional Facility. That's in Oneida County, located about 7 miles outside of Utica. Brooks died at a hospital the day after the assault, according to officials, on the morning of December 10th.
2.5 weeks after his death, the New York Attorney General's office today released body cam footage from multiple officers involved. The footage shows them attacking Brooks in the face, body, and neck while he is handcuffed on a table. A medical examiner later described his cause of death as asphyxia due to compression of the neck. A total of 13 corrections officers and a nurse have been implicated in this attack. Tonight, 7 News reporter Michael Schwartz is taking us through the body camera footage and showing us what happened leading up to Brooks' death.
Yeah, and we do want to warn you tonight, the video that you're about to see, it's very graphic and difficult to watch.
Disturbing new body camera footage shows the bloody face of 43-year-old Robert Brooks as he is being beaten by correction officers, struck more than a dozen times, all while handcuffed. It happened the night of December 9th in the infirmary at Marcy Correctional, just outside Utica.
My office investigates every case in which an officer of the law, including a correctional officer, may have caused the death of a civilian.
New York Attorney General Letitia James opened an investigation last week and on Friday released body camera footage from 4 officers' body cameras.
I do not take lightly the release of this video.
That night at 9:21, body camera footage from Sergeant Trombley shows a handcuffed Brooks being escorted outside, his body parallel with the ground. A minute later, he's seen being carried by 3 officers into the infirmary. He's placed on an exam table. At 9:24, video shows this officer with his body cam off walk into the room and shove a cloth in Brooks's mouth. He punches Brooks in the face once, then hits him 3 more times. Then this officer with the backwards hat punches Brooks and smacks him 3 times with Brooks's own shoe. At this point, 8 officers surround Brooks, some just watching. At 9:26, the officer that shoves something in Brooks's mouth can be seen stomping on him. 3 other officers then hold Brooks down as one officer punches him again. Seconds after taking his foot off Brooks, this officer punches Brooks in the rear 3 times. An officer then comes in with leg restraints. By 9:27, just 5 minutes of the 43-year-old being in this room, a winded Brooks is pulled up. The right side of his nose is bloody. An officer changes his gloves.
See, I mean, and then, you know, this is my thing though, too. You know, when these other people, you know, and other races and stuff be surprised when stuff like this happens. What's there's to be surprised about? These people do this to us every day. These people don't give a damn about. I mean, I'm confused. I'm tripping. These people, they hate us. They hate you. They hate us. Period. I mean, I don't understand what's so hard to figure it out. You see what I'm saying? You notice they don't do this. They do this to other races and stuff like that. But they don't. For one, they don't put the tape and audio out there. For 2, they don't do it as much. I'll tell you that. They don't do it with so much hate and animosity. And we be giving these conservative passes. Oh man, I'm listening to this conservative. These motherfuckers. I don't listen to none of these people, man. These people hate us, man. I don't write. I don't follow. I don't subscribe to. I don't. None of that. These people hate you. You don't listen to people and subscribe to people that hate your race, that hate your people. That don't want nothing for your people. That doesn't work like that. How do you want for you good for you and yours when you subscribe to that? I don't know. We really have to have this literally beat into our heads for us to see that these people do not love us. They hate us. And that's it. We romanticize with the point of being allies with these people, with allies of other groups. It doesn't work like that. It's not going to work like that. It's going to stay like how it is until we do something about it, until we rally up and organize with each other, not other people, not other races.
And with another officer, yanks Brooks up by the collar.
Oh, man. Oh, shit. You can't fake that.
Presses him against the window. He's held there for 3 minutes before he's put back on the table. Brooks's pants are then stripped off his body. By this point, more than a dozen members of law enforcement are there, many watching, some seen
sergeants and everything, high-ranking, cops watching. Nothing gonna happen to him though. Nobody's gonna get prosecuted. That's the thing, you know what I mean? There's very ritualistic ritualistic type stuff to look like to me. I don't know. What about y'all?
Smiling during the ordeal.
This is horrific.
Norman Effman is an attorney with more than 50 years of experience.
Is anybody talking about prosecuting any of these cops? No.
Representing incarcerated individuals and correction officers.
What's going to happen here is clear to me. There's going to be an indictment, and this is going to be a homicide case.
The Times-Union reports that court records accuse 5 officers of hitting Brooks. One of them has since resigned. Meantime, Governor Kathy.
I think even if you're there and you don't do something about it, you still just should be accessory. It's funny because if you're a regular person and this happens and, somebody dies on your watch, whatever, you're accessory to it. Or committing or admission of a crime, you're accessory to it. If somebody dies while a crime is admitted, a cop or somebody kills them, or a cop kills that person, and you're admission with crime with that person, guess what? You get charged for that murder. Why is it not the same with this bullshit, right?
Hochul has called for the firing of all 14 state employees involved. That includes 2 sergeants and 1 nurse. The family of Robert Brooks has released a statement that says, in part, with the Attorney General's release of these videos, members of the public can now view for themselves the horrific and extreme nature.
My thing is they put out this not just for to expose, but this is another reason why they put out that video, man.
Of the deadly attack.
Don't ever think that they're doing this to expose the police and to save Black people and to help and be our allies. And never that. It's to desensitize people about us. I'm telling you, it's to desensitize you.
As viewers can see, Mr. Brooks was fatally, violently beaten by a group of officers whose job was to keep him safe. He deserved to live, and everyone else living in the Marcy Correctional Facility deserves to know they do not have to live in fear of violence at the hands of prison staff. Michael Schwartz, 7 News.
Well, the union, or rather the union representing those corrections officers, did release a statement in response to the footage today. And that statement reads in part, "What we witnessed is incomprehensible to say the least, and is certainly not reflective of the great work that the vast majority of our membership conducts every day. This incident not only endangers our entire membership, but undermines the integrity of our profession. We cannot and do not condone this behavior."
Well, sound like the same old BS to me. All right, so let me get into this. What's the name real quick? Y'all get the likes up, subscribe. If you're not subscribed, share this out to your social media. All right, so let's play this real quick, man. Let's play this wild madness right now. Oh, I already got a plan. My bad. Hold up. So this is how you know this stuff be staged. PSYOPs, crisis actors involved, definitely contrived incidences, because now all of a sudden you got somebody that do the same thing, and then they'll call it as, try to make it and label it as a copycat, which is like, why would it be a copycat? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Well, I think it's easy to say that, because you could just, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. Mila, what's up? Salute. Mila 101. What up? Nothing's not gonna happen. Exactly. Right. So if stuff like this happen, and they're gonna be like, oh, it's a copycat. Oh, this happened. It's a copycat. Somebody's trying to do this. But it's like, what is the odds of somebody really thinking, oh, let me go do that. Let me go set somebody on fire too. Come on, man. So let's look into this real quick. This is the first time. I mean, I've heard about this story, but the first time I'm going to look into this. So yeah, let's get into this real quick.
Take a look right here. NYPD now confirming to Live Now from Fox that a man is in critical condition after police responded to a report of a person on fire inside Penn Station. By the way, Penn Station is the busiest transportation facility in the country. The NYPD saying they responded around 8 last.
See, let's right here, something is up. So for one, my red flags and antenna goes up because a similar incident happens again in New York again at a train station in New York again. Wow. All right. Why did this happen in New York again? You know what I mean? Like, pay attention. They're trying to do something. They're trying to get more cameras. They're trying to get some more surveillance. They're trying to get some more AI. They're trying to get some stuff happening in New York in the subways. That's why they're doing this. And you notice they're saying that crime went down in New York, but at the same time, why are you hearing about all this crime going down in the subways? You don't hear about crime going down on the streets and all this crime going down anywhere else. But all you hear about all these incidents happening in the subway, right? Because what are they trying to do in the subway? That lets you know they're going to do something. AI, cameras. Watch. It's going to be, y'all know America has just as much cameras as China, right? You know what I'm saying? We have no privacy. You know what I'm saying? Straight up.
To a man on fire where they found a 67-year-old man with burn injuries to both legs and his upper body. Now, we did learn he was rushed to a hospital with injuries that the fire department says were deemed life-threatening. Police say the investigation is ongoing and no arrests at this point have been made. And of course, you probably are familiar with this case at this point because this comes just days after a sleeping woman was set on fire, burned alive in a Brooklyn subway, killing her. A Brooklyn grand jury indicted Sebastian
days after this happens, right?
Zapata on charges of murder and arson in that case. New York City Mayor Eric Adams has urged the feds to file federal charges against the Guatemalan native who ICE does confirm was in the country illegally. A lot to discuss here, and I do want to talk more about it. So let's bring in Kirk Burkhalter, the criminal law professor there over at New York Law School and a former NYPD detective. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today.
You're quite welcome.
All right. So first off, the big question here I have to ask you overall, what goes through your mind as you hear about another person being found essentially at a very busy location and they do have burns? Obviously, there's concern there from a lot of people.
Oh, my goodness. A lot goes through my mind. First, personally, I was about 100 yards or so from that very spot yesterday evening. My daughter and I went to a Broadway show and we passed through that corridor, and I pass through that corridor all the time. So it's rather concerning because of the depravity of the act. And unfortunately, this is not something new. We see the homeless victimized all across the country.
Nobody said that about Jordan Neely, though. That Jordan Neely, we ain't talking about him. You know, you let the white dude choke him out, and we went on the white dude's side. But now we talking about the homeless, okay? Because somebody else, a woman of another race gets killed. Now we want to talk about the homeless, okay? Right. Pick and choose, win or lose.
But in particular in our larger cities, quite often, and it seems that it's often for entertainment, setting them on fire and such. It's just a horrible crime. So that's really what runs through my mind.
You really mean somebody did this for
mind, just the depravity of the act of harming someone who is completely helpless and at one of the most vulnerable points of their lives.
And I do want to talk more about the situation with Sebastian Zapata because we've learned a lot of information over the last week. One thing
so burns now. See, the story says set on fire. Now it says man found with burns at Penn Station. You see how the news is tricky. The news just does this for views or for clicks. Because the news was doing bad and they're doing sad after that election. So both sides is really whack to me. MSNBC, CNN, Fox, it's all corny. It's all propaganda. anyway.
We don't know, by the way, is the identity of the woman who was killed just yet. NYPD says they are still working to piece that together. But I do want to start with the indictment overall, because we saw him indicted yesterday, the Brooklyn district attorney making that announcement. Can we go back to basics? Can you explain exactly what an indictment is?
Certainly. Well, as per the Fifth Amendment of the United States Constitution, no person can be held answerable for an offense as is framed a infamous or otherwise or capital offense unless presentment or indictment by a grand jury. So basically an indictment is where you have a group of impartial citizens who make a determination that there is enough evidence to move forward where the defendant should be formally charged and the matter should move forward to a criminal trial.
Okay.
Can you break down?
That's what indictment means. Okay.
Down some of the charges this guy does face, and those are photos that came from his initial court appearance.
Why are they? So I thought you weren't supposed to have a camera in the courtroom. So why are they picking and choosing what cases you could have? See, that's how you know it be staged. This stuff be staged. That's how you know this stuff be. You know what I'm saying? Psyopted, prompted, so they could get engineer consent, so they can mess with your mind, so they can mess with your public opinion, everything. This stuff be psyoped and dropped, right? I thought you couldn't have I thought you couldn't have cameras in the courtroom. That's what I thought, right? I guess not.
Earlier on the week, but we know that there is a murder charge. There's also an arson charge. And what about specific penalties? Because New York does not have the death penalty.
That is correct. Yes. So certainly the most significant or serious charge Zepeda is facing at this moment is murder in the first degree under New York state law. And this is very interesting, first, because it's rarely charged unless it involves the death of a police officer or first responder. However, within the
Why is that? Why is that? You don't got no special laws to protect you, but the police got special laws to protect them. Oh,
last month or so, we've seen it charged twice now with Luigi Mangione and now with.
See, that lets you know this is a psyop too, because both they hit the same kind of circumstances and the same kind of terrorism charges that they charging him and Luigi with. That lets you know that these incidences be staged, bro. These incidences be psyops. They're messing with their mind, You know what I'm saying? Propaganda at its finest.
Zepeda, and he is charged under, this is murder, intentional murder with special circumstances. And he's being charged under the torture subdivision. So when one commits intentional murder, but they do so in a fashion where they torture the victim, meaning they intend and do inflict significant pain, and they do so in a rather depraved manner, meaning that it was debased or defiled, or they derive some form of pleasure from inflicting that torture that would constitute murder in the first degree. It's pretty much the most serious crime in New York State, and it carries a penalty, a maximum of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole.
One thing that's interesting is you mentioned Luigi Mangione, but we saw federal charges that were filed against him. Now we're hearing from New York City Mayor Eric Adams that he wants to see the feds do the same thing for Sebastian Zepeda. Do you think that is something that could potentially happen?
Well, it certainly could. Whether or not it will, only time will tell. It could, because he could be charged with arson and causing serious injury or death of another individual on a facility or a vehicle that's used for interstate transit. And that carries a penalty up to, I believe, 40 years in prison. So he certainly could be charged. It seems that given the level of evidence and that this occurred inside the state, quite often the federal authorities will allow the state to prosecute the case first, and then they certainly could prosecute afterwards.
What has stood out to you about this entire investigation? As we gather more details on this, I mentioned this happened last Sunday. We are almost a week out, and we've seen information slowly come in here. So what has stood out to you overall?
Well, first and foremost, the victim, the inability to identify the victim. And this is not because of a lack of effort on the part of the authorities. it is because the victim is likely to be a homeless person themselves. Keep in mind, even with physical evidence such as DNA, prints, and dental records and so forth, those things are very helpful if you have something to compare them to. So if someone doesn't have a DNA sample on file, or dental records on file, or prints on file, there's nothing to compare them to, so there's no way to identify them. So that's the first. And the second is these reports and video that Zepeda fanned the flames and sat and watched. And when we talk about the...
But what, that's how you know that's fake too, because he didn't have no shirt. When you see him in these videos, you don't see him with no shirt in his hand. Where did he get the shirt from? Where was he wearing the what did he have in his hand to fan the flame? You know what I'm saying? I didn't see nothing in his hand or nothing. So it's like, okay. It's like, where did he get the shirt from, or the fan, or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, these stories, man, it's fear mongering, but see, they do that to shape your public opinion, and at the same time to pass laws and bills and pass all these new, you know what I'm saying, things that they want to get passed, these new agendas. So we gotta be careful when it comes down to these kind of stories, right?
Depravity. The level of depravity here, if that is proven, is just off the charts, so to speak. He himself, it seems, has some mental illness issues. However, that's certainly, when one is claims not guilty by reason of insanity, it's not enough that they have these types of issues. It had to be that those issues were such that where the person didn't know right from wrong. And that's a very high hurdle. The more depraved the crime, the more likely is the person has mental issues. But that doesn't mean by any means that would not be held accountable in our criminal justice system.
And one thing that's interesting is in court on Tuesday, the assistant district attorney actually said that during the interrogation, Zepeda said that he didn't remember doing it, but that he does drink a lot of alcohol.
And so how do you not remember doing something like that? Is this dude a crisis actor, man? What's really going on with the story? You know what I'm saying? Something just don't add up. A lot of things don't add up. Who that's your defense story, that's your counter, that's your rebuttal. Oh, I don't remember doing it. Wow. Okay.
But you heard once again,
can't make this up
again from investigators, just kind of the depravity of the situation, as you're talking about a guy who police say was just sitting by and watching this woman burn to death. It's unimaginable.
Wasn't other people watching her burn to death too? So aren't they just as depraved as he is? I don't know. I'm confused. My bad. I gotta ask the questions. We can't. So, okay, so we're getting on him for watching her burn to death, but we're not getting on them for watching her burn to death, these people. And that we're recording it on their phone. Okay, we picking and choosing. Let's go. That makes sense.
Now, you obviously are retired from the NYPD. You were there as a detective.
So you got another Eric Adams right here. Okay.
Have we seen an uptick in crime in New York City, or are we maybe just hearing?
No, just on the subway, because we're pushing our agendas. We're trying to get more cameras. We're trying to get more AI down there. That's all. You know what I'm saying? We got to scare people. We got to engineer consent and make people think that it's okay to have more cameras and military and all that down there. Because they invested more money in the Grand Central. They invested more money in some of these stations. They invested some, so they got to get a return on investment. You know, they got to make these situations, these false flags. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
About it more.
It's agendas, man.
Very interesting question. You know, I asked one of our DAs here in New York about 2 months ago that very question. He was of the opinion, and I would tend to agree, that generally speaking, crime in New York is down. However,
then if crime, didn't I just tell you how crime in New York was down? If crime in New York is down, then why is all this crime up on these subways then? Does that make any sense, y'all? I don't know. It don't matter if crime is down overall somewhere. It shouldn't matter where it's at, right? Crime is down, right? So wouldn't crime be down in the subway if crime is down in New York? Does that make logical sense, or does it not make sense? If crime is down in the subway, in New York, period, why is crime up in the subway? That lets you know that it lets you know it's not really crime, isn't it? It lets you know it's controlled, right? Staged. You know what I'm saying? Contrived crime. That's how you know what I mean? Come on, man. Let's go.
However, we have these
attention, man.
Crimes.
That's just like saying, oh, crime is down in California, but oh, there's an uptick in crime over here on, like, come on, no.
that come to the public's attention that are very sensational, very newsworthy.
Didn't I just say it? Sensational, newsworthy. This is exactly why they do stuff like this, because this is a newsworthy, sensationalized story. This is going to be at the top of the hour every hour for, let's say, 2 or 3 weeks, or maybe even more. Especially when he goes to trial, it'll die down, and then he goes to trial, then it'll pick right back up. And see, that's why they want to keep it going, because they give you another story about a man burned in Durham Central Station, or excuse me, Penn Station. A man set on fire at Penn Station. You know what I'm saying? They want to keep it going, so they want to give you a copycat story.
This assassination of the CEO, these particular deaths. So they do tend to shock the conscience to a certain amount. Generally speaking, the crime against the everyday person that travels the public transportation and travels the streets of New York, that is down. However,
then why is it up on the subway? Why are you showing us all these crazy sensationalized stories then? If crime is down for the transportation person in New York, like you just said, why is, I don't know, I guess maybe they know a lot of people are stupid, so they know a lot of people are ignorant, they ain't gonna think. They know a lot of people are scared. They know a lot of people got hit with the fear mongering. You see what I'm saying? So
question is, do New Yorkers feel safe? So it's a little difficult to feel safe, even though crime is down, but you see these types of heinous acts occur.
Okay, right, crime is down, but you're just seeing all these heinous, okay.
You have to keep in mind the police can't be everywhere. We have about 40,000 police officers.
If crime is down, would you need that? If crime is down, would you need that much more police everywhere if crime is down? No. Because crime is down. Anyway.
New York, you would need about 10 times that amount for a police officer to be on every single corner and every single sub.
This guy just proved my point. All right, let me go to the next video, because this cat don't make no sense. These people, if you listen to it long enough, they're telling themselves. Let's see. Look at the PSYOP. Look at the buzzworthy news. Border crisis. U.S. vows stricter policies against migrants. But yet this dude is meeting with DACA and talking about giving a gang of people H-1 visas, right? But you talking about damn a migrant crisis. You talking about immigration. Yeah, right. Lying. All these people do is lie. All right, so let's see. Oh, my bad. I'm tripping. I already know what I'm gonna play. All right, so let me end this story, man. This one right here. You know what I mean? I know what I'm about to play right now. So what's going on with this weird type? You know what I'm saying? I think this is in California. All right, where I'm at. All right, so fair use. What's up with these weird stories about somebody setting something on fire or setting somebody on fire, right? Come on, I'm telling you, they're programming our minds. Let's go.
A homeless woman is caught on camera dousing a car with flammable liquid and lighting it on.
Look how much they control your mind. Look how staged this stuff is. Look how this is working out. So in New York, you got this dude that set a homeless woman on fire, and now you got them giving us news about a homeless woman setting a car on fire. Y'all don't see how? Didn't I just say that they're gonna keep showing us and giving us these copycats to keep this going? To keep this going in the news cycle? To keep reminding you of this? I just said that, huh? So now in New York, you got the homeless woman being burned. And now you got, in California, you got the homeless woman burning the car. Okay. Right. We don't see the connection. We don't think that the news is connected, bro. We don't think that this is Operation Mockingbird. We don't think that this is a control programming, Operation Bluebeam. What is this? Smith Modernization Act 2012. We don't think this is any of that? I'm gonna go into that too. Let's go.
On fire at a mobile gas station in Hollywood. It happened early this morning on Santa Monica Boulevard.
Yeah, that owner of the car is a delivery driver and says he's now unable to work. Mary Beth McDade, live at the scene tonight with more on that. MB?
Hi there, you guys. And as you can see behind me here, the burned car is still at this gas station. Residents in this area tell us that they have seen this woman in the neighborhood several times before. They say that they believe she is homeless and often see her making angry outbursts. A woman is captured on.
So they're giving you the Jordan Neely effect. This is what they're doing. I'm telling you, this is how they mess with our mind. So they're giving you, okay, so that's what they were saying about Jordan Neely. He was screaming at people, right? And outbursting, right? And then they're giving you, at the same time, they're giving you the dude that just burned the lady. They're giving you both. You see what I'm saying? Look, boy, these psyops. Psyops, let's go.
Camera setting a car on fire around 4:30 Friday morning in Hollywood. The car was parked at a gas station at the corner of Santa Monica Boulevard and Vine. Friends of the gas station owner tell us he's the one trying to extinguish the flames, which appears to upset the woman.
That's dangerous, man. That shit could have fucking went up in smoke, man. That whole shit, man. Do something dumb like that. Is this a crisis actor? Who is this lady? Seriously, like, you know what I mean? What's really going on with this?
She then sets some sort of material on fire and tries to start the car on fire again and fuel the flames with lighter fluid. Police arrive and arrest.
Nobody stops her. Nobody says, hey, what are you doing? Nothing, right? You see how nobody was saying nothing about it. You see how nobody said anything and was stopping her from doing it, right? And why was there nobody hardly around? You see somebody that's doing something like that at the gas station, you ain't gonna say nothing? All right.
Arrest the woman while firefighters respond and put out the fire.
Yeah, I'm shocked to see it, because like literally, I had it right here. It was
psyops, boy. They playing with our minds. Man, they messing with our minds, boy.
I was, ready to fix it, and this happened now. So like, she just caused more damage to it.
The owner of the car, 21-year-old Anderson Martinez, can't believe that some stranger would do this. As an Uber Eats driver, he needs his car for work.
Never met her in my life.
Where was he at though? Why was his car parked right there? Where was he at? He didn't come. He came out and seen it. How come they didn't say where he was at? They didn't say he was in the store. All right.
The whole time on my house.
Okay.
And the police pulled up. Like I said, I was sleeping in an answer. They left the note right there. I came right away and checked it out, and I was surprised by it. And there's nobody in the car. She's right there saying, "Get out the car." There's nobody right there in the car. So I don't know what she's talking about.
Anderson's friend's car and truck were parked right in front of his burning car at the gas station, not far from the gas pumps. We spoke to his friend who owns the truck.
My friend's car was catching on fire. My brother's car was right next to it, and the truck was right next to my brother's car.
So everybody in his damn generation,
including the gas station, everything could have been at the disaster.
Car happened to be right there, right? Come on, man. Something about this story don't make no sense.
And we have reached out to the LAPD.
So all y'all
to find
parked
out
your
more
car right
about
there. What was y'all doing? Why would y'all park your car right there, like at the back end of a gas station anywhere? What was y'all doing? What was they doing? Was that a show, a club, or? Boy, I tell you, psyops, man. They playing with our minds, man.
About this incident and also more about the woman that was detained. That's going to do it for me here in Hollywood. Mary Beth McDade. We'll send it back to you guys in this studio.
All right, MB.
Man, these stories are so. All right, let me see. I'm getting in. We going in right now. We ain't stopping. All right, we ain't gonna stop. I'm talking about the shooting at the Texas Mall. Oh shoot, Sabby Sads. Let me hit you up with some Sabby Sads real quick. Then I'm gonna hit you up with some. You know what? Let's go to what's his name first. Let's go to what's his name first real quick. Let's go to Jabachi FX. All right, I'm gonna go to Savvy Sab. So Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk, huh? And you got the white racist, white conservatives mad now because he was saying that saying that we're lazy, but then they say black people are lazy. So black people are Americans. So I'm confused. So you don't like him saying that that Americans is lazy, but y'all call black people lazy. I don't know. I'm confused. These white conservatives, racist conservatives, just blow my mind. All right. Let's see. Man, all these people. Interesting. All right. Fair use, fair use, fair use. Shout out Gematria Effects. Share them out. Check them out. Zach Hubbard on Gematria Effects. All right. Check it out.
Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Look at this article about Trump picking his ambassador to Panama on Christmas. This paragraph right here in the article. Again, that's what the article's about right here. Trump names ambassador to Panama after suggesting U.S. control of Panama Canal. He did this on Wednesday, December 25th. Of course, the day we know is Christmas. The man picked is Kevin Marino Cabrera. There is something interesting about that. But this paragraph right here. Merry Christmas to all, including to the wonderful soldiers of China who are lovingly but illegally operating the Panama Canal, where we lost 38,000 people in its building 110 years ago. I mean, you don't think these people are speaking in coded language every single day? What does Christmas equal in Gematria? The big way, meaning the alphabetic order, A is 1 up to Z is 26. Christmas equates to 110. In the alphabetic order with numerology, it equals 38. I mean, come on. Where we lost 38,000 people and it's building 110 years ago. I mean, it was built in 1914, but again, just every day you just see the ritualism, the perfect ritualism. It's just like tonight in the NBA game. We call the NBA the 1-1-3 league. Curry hits the long three-pointer while his team's on 110 points from 10 feet beyond the arc to give himself his 38th points of the night to tie the game up at 113 apiece when the National Basketball Association is 1-1-3 and it's the 30th prime. And, of course, Curry wears number 30. I mean, Jesus' ministry begins at 30. But anyway, I mean, just that they have to put that in it, where we lost 38,000 people in this building 110 years ago, always making certain that the United States puts in billions of dollars in repair money, but will have absolutely nothing to say about anything, Trump wrote on his Truth Social network. Remember, Truth Social's got the 47 connection. There was an article when it first launched about Trump's 47 days of not posting on there. And now here we are with all the 47 rituals as he becomes the 47th president select, because these people are not elected. Yeah, I just had to document that on Christmas, the reference to 38 and 110. And in case you're new here, just so you can see it. Well, notice this guy's name equals 89, like the number of chapters in the gospel, his pick. But look at this, Christmas. Alphabetic order. Christmas is 110. Alphabetic order and numerology. Christmas is 38. Even the littlest of things got to speak in their Kabbalistic code on the daily.
Oh, yeah, man. Salute Zach Hubbard. Salute, you know what I'm saying? Salute, salute, you know what I mean? Let me get into this. What's the name real quick? Let me get into So okay, so look. I'm gonna get into Palantir, this dude Peter Thiel, man. I'm gonna get into how he has government contracts with the government, man. That's not good. And he has a tech company. So, you know, that ain't good. That ain't good at all. Let me get to Savvy Sabs real quick. Savvy Sabs, you know what I'm saying? So these people, man, are basically they're going, you know, they basically everything's gonna go AI and you know what I mean? They're going from a security down to the jobs. You see them, and that's just a fact. That's just how it's gonna happen. Hold up. All right, shout out to Savvy Sabs. Check her channel out. Watch. Go. Let's go. Something. Shout out to Savvy Sabs. Salute, salute. Check her channel out. You know what I mean? Fair use, fair use. Oh yeah, let's go. Look how she breaks this down. Look how she breaks it down. Look, she's right. Well, let me say it a little bit.
He said,
so look, Vivek's talking about laziness. He's talking about you know, different values and people you know, celebrate American values, celebrating football and then baseball games and hot dogs and all this, but not celebrating, you know, extracurricular activities, debating, you know what I'm saying, you know, certain kind of scholar clubs and stuff like that. But it's just like people don't got no money for. People don't got the money for that. People are poor. American people are poor. You see what I'm saying? People don't got it's only certain families and people have the resources, money for resources and stuff like that. Talking about the elder, you know, it's all about education. The educational system out here, it sucks. It's failing. So how do you expect, if it's failing, how do you expect the average kid or the average family on the dollar, you see what I'm saying, to have resources for stuff like this, to be intellectually inclined to, I mean, people go to college and graduate college out here in America and stuff like that too. But what does that cost? Debt, time, stress. So I don't know. I don't agree with what Vivek said. That was whack. It was corny. I think, you know, to be honest with you, who wants to hear that BS? You know what I'm saying? Who wants to hear the negative? I don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just stereotype and negative connotation when it comes down to black people. You know what I'm saying? So negative connotations of American people, man.
Said the reason top tech companies often hire foreign-born and first-generation engineers over Native Americans isn't because of an innate American IQ deficit. He says here in parentheses, a lazy and wrong explanation. Lazy.
Keep using them words, but this dude is a billionaire. Not the average, I'm sorry, the average person is not even a thousandaire in America, man. I'm telling you, let's just keep it funky. So there's you can't compare. I don't know. I don't know. This dude sounds like a hypocrite though. Check him out.
Lazy. A key part of it comes down to the C word, culture. Tough questions demand tough answers.
Here we go with this culture. Here we go.
And if we really are serious about fixing the problem, we have to confront the truth. Our American culture has venerated mediocrity over excellence for way too long, at least since the 90s and likely longer. That doesn't start in college. It starts young. a culture that celebrates the prom queen over the math Olympiad champ or the jock over the valedictorian will not produce the best engineers. So even if you agree with that part there about celebrating the prom queen over the math Olympiad, that's one part, but there's a piece that he leaves out there that I think is incredibly important about the best engineers. And I have worked in engineering programs, so I know this from firsthand experience. Part of the reason why a country like Germany has some of the best engineers is because they can afford to go to college. A lot of people.
Exactly. Germany, that shit is free. A lot of that shit, education, a lot of healthcare, a lot of that stuff out there will be free in them countries. Come on, man. We can't compare apples to oranges here. Comparing America to other places is way different. America is a corporation anyway, just based off that alone. You can't compare it to actual country or another, you know what I'm saying? It don't work like that. Let's go.
People leave this part of the equation out. If you are living in a country where a bachelor's degree is free, more people are going to be willing to go to college because they can afford to go. So there's that. Now, are there issues within our K through 12 system in this country? Absolutely. I've talked about it over and over and over again. But
isn't that by design? Didn't Rockefeller and them change the school and did all that? The board of education, all that was started by these people, right? Come on, man. They changed everything. They made it like that by design. They made it horrible. They made it worse. They made it, you know what I'm saying? And then why you think in certain educations you got to go to the charter school, you got to go to certain other schools, and you get what's the name? You got to get what's the name? I mean, you have to pay. It's a tuition, right? Because of the better so-called education, quote unquote, right? You got to pay for a reason, right? But yet a public school, you don't have to pay, right? And it's free, right? Come on, man. Everything is. I don't understand why we don't. I don't know. Everything is all by design for a reason. Let's go. Let's get into it. Rockefeller says, "Come on, we can go and get in deep dive into why the public schools like that system is like that. It's kind of designs and it kind of reminds you of the corrections, right? It reminds you of prison, school to prison pipeline. So." It's all by design. It all, goes hand in hand. You see what I'm saying?
This is not just about celebrating the prom queen. It comes down to funding public education in this country. And what I have been raging about, I feel like since the very start of the show, having worked in public education, is that the fact that these public schools are funded based on property taxes automatically set some of these students up at a disadvantage.
There you go. These schools over here get better funding than these schools. These schools over here, these better more property taxes get better school funding than these schools. It's just that simple. There you go. It's just like redlining. It's redlining for the schools, isn't it? Or no? Is it school redlining or is it not school redlining? You see, we talk about this redlining history and racist discrimination history. It's the same thing that keeps happening. It's the same thing. It's not. Is it really history or is it reoccurring? I don't know. I don't know, man. I just,
Your education should not be based on your zip code, but it is, at least here in the United States.
Good point. Vivek don't say that. He didn't say that part, right? Vivek is leaving out stuff on purpose just to prove his point. Most ignorant people do that. Most people that say broad and ambiguous statements like that, they do that. They he's just doing that to prove a point. He's just doing that to be, and then Vivek was saying the crazy stuff about black people. Talking about black people lazy. He said black people was lazy before, right? He said we playing in the victimhood and man, remember he was saying all that stuff about black people, right? You didn't really see white people checking them. You didn't see the white conservative checking them because they think the same thing. You get somebody darker out there to say that about them, then at least we don't got to say it. At least we don't got to look so quote unquote racist, right? That lets you know just by how the schools are better in these areas and these areas and these areas, and this funding and this funding, that lets you know that it's all an agenda. They don't really want the brightest, the brightest and best. They don't want them to be Americans, man. They want these people to be foreigners. They want the foreigners to be at the top. They want, because the foreigners are already on the top at the top now. This dude Trump was talking about, oh man, immigration and this and getting rid of immigrants, but your top people at the top, your people at the cabinet are immigrants. How does that work? You ain't just talking about getting rid of immigrants. You got people on your cabinet that are immigrants. I mean, I don't just see. We get called Kamala out. We call Joe Biden out for the hypocrisy. Okay, we got to call these people out too. Just because they're conservative, Republicans, whatever you want to, whatever, doesn't mean nothing. Really irresponsible to just. I just think it's whack. I just think it's whack. I think that Trump just ran on a. I mean, we'll see. We still got yet to come to see him get sworn in. So we'll see. I can't really talk truly, but from what I'm seeing, it's looking like he was just saying all this stuff about immigration just to get votes. I don't know. And how are you gonna deport like 50 million people? Where are you gonna send them? You're gonna use the military to do it? That's like some martial law type stuff. I don't know. And is he just going to use the military on the immigrants, or are you going to use the military on everybody else? You got to ask yourself these questions.
So if you really want to help improve the education system in the United States, the first thing you have to do is you have to remove this rule of funding public schools based on property taxes, because that's why we see like these, inadequacies in different zip codes. Everybody should be able to get the same quality education in this country, and they do not. That being said, when it comes to STEM in particular, STEM has increased in the United States over the past 10 years. I know this. I've worked in STEM programs. I'm very familiar with this. Is it on the same level as some of the other countries? No, not yet. Like our STEM is not on the same level as China, for example, but it has improved and has increased over the years. So I think, again, if they really want to fix this issue, once again, they have to deal with the money. And this is what people don't want to get into. They don't want to get into the why. And if you look at the why, it goes back to the money. I went to a Dodge school. So for people who are not aware what that is, those of us that had parents that were in the military.
Everything's all about the money.
We lived overseas. We attended what you would call a Dodge school. So those schools are funded fully by the federal government. I didn't have to pay for any activity in a Dodge school when I was in school overseas in Germany. When I was in the band, I didn't have to pay for my instrument. When I was on the basketball team, I didn't have to pay for my uniform. Now, if the federal government can do that for the Dodge schools, the federal government should have been doing that for public schools in the United States so that everybody has the same opportunity. You should not have to have parents that were a part of the armed forces for you to receive that opportunity. So that in itself needs to be adjusted, but always follow the money and you'll receive the answer to a lot of your questions here. He goes on to say, a culture that venerates Corey from Boy Meets World, or Zach and Slater over Screech and Saved by the Bell, or Stefan over Steve Urkel in Family Matters will not produce the best engineers. Fact. I know multiple sets of immigrant parents in the 90s who actively limited how much their kids could watch those TV shows precisely.
So just immigrant parents did that? So that wasn't American culture either, right? That was just, see, that's stereotyping. My mom, everybody, a lot of people's moms, dads, everybody, a lot of people's parents. My pops, back in the day, that was the culture in the 90s, 80s, strict parenting, you know what I'm saying? Okay, you can't watch this unless you know what I mean? What is he talking about? That's a stereotype. That's a stereotype for sure. So that's a stereotype. So you're just saying that Americans just let their kids, you know what I'm saying, do whatever they want. Don't let them do their homework. Run wild. That's corny, man. Vivek is whack. Vivek is whack for that. Stereotypes. Let's go. This dude's a billionaire, so he feel he could just, pop off.
Precisely because they promoted mediocrity and their kids went on to become wildly successful STEM graduates. more movies like Whiplash, fewer reruns of Friends, more math tutoring, fewer sleepovers, more weekend science competitions, fewer Saturday morning cartoons, more books, less TV, more creating, less chilling, more extracurriculars, less hanging out at the mall. So this is actually a class issue, because if you can afford, if you are living a lifestyle where you're not working on the weekends, then you can take your kids to those math competitions. Listen, I know this firsthand. Like I said, you know, my family was not wealthy. They weren't poor, but I know firsthand that there were certain things when we came back to the States that all of a sudden in the education system, they did have to pay for. You know, I was at a disadvantage compared to when I lived in Germany, and the Dodge schools and these activities were free. So when I was on the debate team, for example, in order to participate in those debate competitions, you need, guess what? Money. You need money. And my parents didn't always have all this money to send me to those debate competitions. So one of the things that my school did, and my debate coach did, is they opened up the opportunity for you to receive a sponsorship. So we went to different law firms to get sponsorships to help pay for those debate competitions. And that's how I was able to travel to a lot of those competitions, because the traveling does cost money. That's another thing that Vivek, I feel like he's leaving out. This is a class issue. Not every parent has the money, and particularly in this country, to help their kids have.
But he feels since he got the money, it don't matter. I got the money, it don't matter. Y'all don't got the money. Just because you got money don't mean you, I don't know, you intelligent.
Some type of math tutoring. Tutoring isn't free. It costs money. Going to these competitions on the weekend, that also requires money. It also requires that as a parent, you're not working on the weekend. This is an assumption that the parents are working a Monday through Friday, 9-to-5 job. There are many parents in this country that are working on the weekend, whether they're waiting tables, whether they're working retail. The average job for a middle-aged woman in this country is retail, by the way. So this goes to show you the class issue that Vivek is not familiar with. His parents, when they came to this country, they already came here with
immigrants,
degrees. So they had a college degree before they came here. His parents were in professions where they were able to allow him to have those types of opportunities. But
sound like a spoiled little baby, spoiled brat. That's what it sounds like to me. Sound like somebody spoiled.
But a lot of the parents that I have met over the years are not. So we have to address the class issue there. It goes on to say, most normal American kids view those kinds of, most normal American parents look skeptically at those kinds of parents. More normal American kids view those kinds of kids with scorn. If you grow up aspiring to normalcy, normalcy is what you will achieve. Again, he's leaving out the class issue. Now, close your eyes and visualize which families you knew in the 90s or even now who raised their kids according to one model versus.
She's right. Class issue. Why are we not talking about that? That's how it is in America. You know it is how it is in India, because they got the most racist class issue. Worst class issue probably in the damn whole world, besides America. You know. So let's just be real. It's a class issue, right? You want to blame everything else, but what exactly what it really is, right?
Is the other. Be brutally honest. Normalcy doesn't cut in a hyper competitive global market for technical talent. And if we pretend like it does, we will have our asses handed to us by China. This can be a Sputnik.
It's not. China don't have the poverty that America has, for one. So you can't compare that to. You comparing it to China. It's not the same as apples and oranges. And China just barely got developed, what, 80s, 90s? To really start to get on board, like on the ball. Come on, China hasn't been that superpower for that many years like that. What is this guy talking about?
Moment. Again, he mentions China, but he doesn't want to mention the fact that China's poverty rate is nowhere near as high when you compare it to the United States. Their homelessness rate is lower, significantly lower than the United States. Our homelessness rate has continued to increase and increase tremendously.
And that's all by design too. You know what I'm saying? That's all by design. No matter if it's a Democrat or Republican, it's going to stay the same.
Dramatically in 2024. So he's leaving out the class issue again. This can be our Sputnik moment. We've awakened from slumber before and we can do it again. Trump's election hopefully marks the beginning of a new golden era in America, but only if our culture fully wakes up. A culture that once again prioritizes achievement over normalcy, excellence over mediocrity, nerdiness over conformity, hard work over laziness. So here's Vivek Ramaswamy calling Americans lazy. Oh, and this is the one I think that really hit the nerve with MAGA.
But say how you're a MAGA supporter and you don't like the fact that he said that, but you call black people lazy. So I don't understand. So black people are Americans. So what's the difference for him generalizing all Americans and saying they're lazy versus just black people? I don't get it. I don't know, man. We can't make this up.
Supporters. That's the work we have cut out for us rather than wallowing in victimhood and just wishing or legislating alternative hiring practices into existence. I'm confident we can do it. So the big key that he leaves out here in this monologue of his is that the class issue plays a significant factor. And if you don't have the money or the resources to do the things that Vivek wants you to do, I'm not talking about which TV shows you watch, but if you don't have those resources, you are not going to be able to give your kids those opportunities. That part is very important. So that was Vivek, and people came after Vivek. People came after him. They are not happy. They said, I know you're not calling us lazy. KB says Vivek came through and said, you white folks don't raise your kids the way that Asians do. He said, you white folks don't raise your kids the right way like Asians do.
How do we know? I don't know how white Asians raise the kids. I'm not Asian. I haven't been in the Asian family, so I don't know. I can't say that. That's a stupid thing to say, and that's an ignorant statement anyway off the top. I'm not Asian. I haven't been raised in no Asian family, so I don't know how Asians raise the kids. So let's go.
And of course, like I said, people took offense to this, but it wasn't just Vivek. Elon Musk also hopped on this train and people are coming after him. He's losing his mind. He is suspending Twitter accounts that apparently disagreed with him in a Twitter space, which we'll get into in just a second. Elon Musk said, author, this dude is done. This is the real Confederate mindset. Oh my God. The reason I'm in America, along with so many critical people who built SpaceX, Tesla, and hundreds of other companies that made America strong, is because of H-1B. Take a big step back and fuck yourself in the face. I will go to war on this issue, the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend. So Elon Musk is telling MAGA supporters to go fuck themselves. This is someone who bought his way into the Trump administration, literally bought his way in.
Well,
what did I tell you about Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy? I warned you about them. I warned you significantly, especially about Elon Musk. And now they're showing their whole ass, right? Showing their whole ass. So he went on this rampage where he decided that he was going to suspend accounts. He was going to block people. He's removing the blue check mark.
So look, so y'all see, the people that everybody was hailing up a couple weeks ago, and was going Google Gaga for us. Look how he acting now. But I think this could all be a play too. I mean, I don't trust anything at this point. You see what I'm saying? This could all be a play. This could all be just be, you know what I mean? More content, right? Like I say.
For some people, apparently, Laura.
That would make sense though, because he is an immigrant, Elon Musk. So him being passionate over this H-1 visa stuff, I can see that because he's a damn immigrant. So
Loomer was one of these accounts that was removed with the blue check mark. Listen to this. Evan says, okay, I'm agreeing with Laura Loomer and Ann Coulter. I just need to go lie down for a minute. Yeah, this is wild, fam. Elon Musk said Loomer is trolling for attention. Ignore. Laura Loomer said telling the truth isn't trolling. Read the room, Elon Musk. You bought your way into MAGA 5 minutes ago after Trump almost had his head blown off in Butler. Remember when you voted for Biden and propped up Governor Ron DeSantis and you said Trump was too old? We all know you only donated your money so you could influence immigration policy and protect your buddy Xi Jinping. This is very interesting, folks. Laura Loomer, for those who are not aware, is conservative, is a Trump supporter. And for her to...
I'm not no supporter. And this supporter, this supporter, that supporter, this is ridiculous. That's just like liking this person on YouTube or liking it on Instagram and following this person on. It's just horny to me, man, to be honest with you. It really is at this point. Grown adults, you see what I'm saying? I'm not following none of these people. I'm following God. That's who I'm following. Myself. That's it. I just don't get it. I don't get this whole following and I'm a supporter of this person. You know what I'm saying? I'm supporting my people coming together. That's what I'm a supporter of. At the end of the day, I ain't no supporter of Trump. I ain't no supporter of none of that. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. So let's go.
To take this approach is very, very interesting. Very interesting. That was when she still had her blue check, by the way. Ann Coulter jumped in it or stepped in it. Is that what we're saying these days? Stepped in it. American workers can leave a company. Imported H-1B workers can't. Tech wants indentured servants, not high-skilled workers. Let's talk about the exploitation, because this is something that Elon Musk and Vivek are not mentioning as well. This is another example of the corporate class exploiting the workers. This is another example of the oligarchy pitting the workers against each other. Let me explain to you how this works. If you have an H-1B visa, you can't just quit your job. If the condition...
Interesting stuff. You can't just leave a job. So there's regulations and rules to come with that, right? It's a contract agreement, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right?
At your job are unbearable. If your boss is a dick to you, you can't just quit your job. You have to, continue the conditions of your visa. Otherwise, you can lose your H-1B visa and you have to go back home. Knowing that, these corporations, of course, they want to continue to hire H-1B because they know you're not going anywhere. They know that they can treat you any type of way and you are not going.
But look, not even just, yeah, I see what she's saying, but at the same time, I'm looking at it like this. Well, shoot, it ain't even just that. From how I'm seeing that like this, shoot, you get these people. This is a chance, an opportunity for these people to be millionaires and start their own firms and have more opportunity out here too. I'm looking at it from both angles. See what I'm saying? I'm looking at from the company you can exploit. Okay, yeah, no doubt. Like she said, they can't leave, but at the same time, these people can come out here and have the opportunity to make millions of dollars and start their own companies. So, I mean, versus American, that it makes it that much harder for an American person to do that. Am I right? I don't know. Why would you want, but like she just said, it's more exploitation. I get it.
Going anywhere.
AI that's coming, really.
Likely. That is exploitation of the worker. Now, what happens along with that when it comes to American workers? Let's go through the top to bottom, or we'll do bottom to top worker infrastructure here in the United States. Let's start with the lowest paid. The lowest paid workers, and who often sometimes work for free, prison workers. That's prison labor. Next, after prison labor, are the undocumented immigrants. They are paid very low because, again, the corporations know that they're not here under a legal status. So the corporations are going to pay them less, and there's nothing what are they going to do? Complain? They don't have legal status. They're not protected. If they complain, they know they're going to be deported. Prison labor, undocumented immigrants, and then next, the H-1B visas. Because even those people, even going into some of those tech jobs, they're offered lower salaries than the American workers that are going into those tech jobs. I've seen this firsthand. Again, what are you going to do? Are you going to complain about it? Do you want the H-1B visa or not? If you complain about it, then you don't get the visa, and then you have to go back home. So I just went through the exploitation of labor, who's at the very bottom, and as we make our way up in this country, and of course you all know who's at the top, and that's the billionaire class. So they're exploiting the workers and pitting the workers against each other. That's how it works. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy want to continue exploiting the workers. They want to continue to bring in more H-1B visas because they can pay them less. Does everyone not understand what is happening? Does everyone not understand what the ultimate goal is at the end of the day? They're both entrepreneurs. They own their own companies. Don't forget, Elon was against the Tesla workers who wanted to unionize. They're not for the workers. Everyone got it? Get it? Good.
Shout out to Savvy Sash. She's right. You know what I'm saying? Salute to her and her channel. Check her out. I'm going to play a couple more things. I'm going to get off here, man. You know what I'm saying? Hold up. All right, man. Another story. Here we go. Salute to salute. Fair use.
3 people, all members of the same family, were found.
Here we go with this number 3 number. Number 3. Either 3 victims or 3 suspects. Let's go.
Stabbed to death inside their home, including a 44-year-old woman, an 8-year-old girl, and a 16-year-old boy. KTLA's Angeli Kakade joins us live from Baldwin Park with the latest on an arrest in the case. Angeli.
Yeah, Rick and Cher, we know a 23-year-old man is in custody tonight as we're learning more about these victims, as you said, tragically including 2 children. It's a triple homicide that's shocked an entire city.
It's a sad day for us in the city of Baldwin Park.
Councilmember Manuel Lozano not sugarcoating the brutal killings of 3 people, believed to be by the hands of this 23-year-old, seen here in video as neighbors captured the moment he was arrested, minutes after he tried speeding away.
He accelerated rapidly in reverse, did like a semicircle, and crashed into the house just west of the location.
This all started just before 7 Thursday night when police arrived at the home at the end of a Baldwin Park cul-de-sac to find 2 females and a male stabbed to death. But what's even more shocking, the suspect is related to his victims.
Interesting.
Making the screams heard by neighbors even more chilling.
At first, we just hear screaming. We have no idea what's going on.
They also heard a grown man yelling.
To make this story worse, police say multiple other children also live in the house and were home at the time of the murders.
We're going to involve
that's going to be a lot of trauma. That's crazy, man.
Social services from the county to be able to assist and hopefully find some type of a solution and housing for the immediate family that are here.
As neighbors are left to cope with their new reality.
I've been living here for over 12 years, and we've never experienced something like this.
Now, neighbors tell us they did see some of those other children being escorted out of the house last night by police, some as young as 10 years old. For now, reporting live in Baldwin Park, Angelique Hockaday. I'll send it back to you over in Hollywood.
All right, Angelique.
Last 90 minutes, police announced that they have taken Kevin Holland into custody after searching for him for 17 hours. He's charged with killing Samori Hassamuddin, who was a DoorDash driver. The shooting happened at a McDonald's on Santa Fe Drive in Fayetteville. Holland worked there. WREL's Destiny Patterson, she joins us live now. And Destiny, Holland was close to that crime scene.
Police say that they found the suspect, Kevin Holland, about 15 minutes from where I'm standing, which is where that crime scene was. So they found him in Spring Lake, and it was the police department over there that found him and helped bring him into custody. Now, I spent much of the day talking to the victim's loved ones, and they described him as caring and friendly. They say that Samori Hassamuddin was a family man who was just trying to provide for his 4 children.
The gloom outside matches the feeling of heartbreak.
It just feels like a dream.
Tasia Black still coming to terms with her new reality.
We were high school sweethearts.
The love of her life taken from her just one day after Christmas. Fayetteville police say a routine pickup for DoorDash turned into a deadly confrontation. Investigators say McDonald's employee Kevin Holland ran away after shooting DoorDash driver Samori Hassamuddin to death.
He didn't deserve that. He don't do nothing to nobody.
She calls him a hardworking father, now dead after trying to provide for his family.
He has kids, and they will never see him again.
The nature of that confrontation, still a mystery.
I don't even know the man. Like, I don't know that guy. He don't know us. I don't know him.
There was no witnesses?
I've been with Mo for years.
I mean, there was no witnesses? There was nobody? I don't understand.
Never seen that guy before in my life.
The rain seems to feel her pain.
I'm so used to being able to call him whenever I need to, or just text him when I need to, and I can't. I can't never do that again.
Now she clings to their times together and their 1-year-old son, who she says reminds her so much of his father.
Holland is being held with no bond at the Cumberland County Detention Center. His next court date is scheduled for next Monday. Destiny Patterson, WRL News, live in Fayetteville.
Night off. A grisly crime.
Hold up, y'all. Right,
there's so much more you could do on Mount SAC. We've got 400 programs.
Northwest Harris County, 3 boys are now in the hospital after they were shot during an attempted robbery.
Our Ugochi Iloka joins us live from the scene of that shooting. And Ugochi, you're hearing that the teens are actually the suspects in this case.
Yeah, that's correct, Sherman and Ron. A major with the Harris County Sheriff's Office says a total of 4 boys ages 12 to 14 years old attempted to try to rob a man in this apartment complex you see behind me. Now, that's when authorities say that man started shooting in order to defend himself. If you take a look, this is video of when deputies first responded to this incident just after 10:30 p.m. last night. When deputies got there, they say they found one boy with a gunshot wound. He was rushed to a trauma center in critical condition and at last checked was in surgery. Now, the investigators say 2 more boys were found with gunshot wounds and they were also taken to the hospital. A few minutes later, they say the shooter turned himself in and a 4th teenager was taken in. Now, investigators tell us the shooter says he only shot the boys because they tried to attempt to rob him in his home with guns. Now, neighbors heard the commotion and came outside to see what was going on.
My neighbor right here screamed across the way, "Hey, are you okay?" And I told him, "Hey, this guy's down." So I called the sheriff department and the ambulance to come and pick the kid up. But of course, at that time, I didn't know it was a little kid. And my other neighbor came and held his hand and was talking to him and consoling him, you know, trying to keep him alive.
Yeah, and that neighbor you just heard from there, he and along with another neighbor tried to help that boy. The boy they're referring to is the one currently, as we mentioned earlier, in critical condition. Now, coming up in the next hour, the weapons, investigators say they were recovered here on the scene. Reporting live in Northwest Harris County, Ugochi Iloka, KHOU 11 News.
Interesting. Okay, hold up, y'all. Hold up real quick. Let me see. Hold up. Hold up, real quick. Oh no, you know what? Let me play this real quick. Also, what up? What up, Salute? Salute was good. What you up to? Hold on. Hold up.
Well, Lexus, taking a look here at Palantir, those shares still jumping this afternoon, up more than 2% and outperforming the broader market. And that's after the company announced it won a government contract to supply data and analytics to the U.S. Army. Now, the contract is said to be worth $823 million.
To the Army. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, y'all?
$1 million, according to Palantir. And as usual, of course, these are always closely watched by investors since government contracts do comprise the majority of this company's revenue. Now, specifically, we saw that government agencies accounted for 61% of Palantir's sales in the first half of 2021. And this latest deal is in addition to a plethora of other agreements between Palantir and the U.S. Defense Department over the past several years. Now, some Wall Street firms did say that they believe that the move to the upside today in Palantir stock may be a little bit overblown, given again that this company already does have a number of existing contracts with the U.S. Army and Department of Defense. But again, a lot of optimism baked into this announcement here. And we are seeing these shares relatively holding.
All right, see, y'all know what I'm talking about. See, y'all see how it is, you know, this dude is basically funding and getting money from, you know, and the government. So I just think that's very interesting how this works. You're getting funded by the, you know, getting contract from the government. So I think that ain't good. So guess what? The robot drones and the robot androids and the robot police and the robot, you know what I mean, RoboCops, they gonna be made by this company, straight up. So, and this is the guy that Trump got on his, or that Trump, I think Trump does have him, or was looking to have him on his campaign. So, but he's buddy with him, and this is JD Vance's boy. So
higher here, although they are off session highs from earlier today, guys.
And Emily, I know you're also watching Constellation Brands down about 2/3%, and that's after they missed on their earnings, I believe missed on EPS, also raised their full year guidance. So lots to unpack in the report. What's in it?
Well, that's right, Jared. And really a little bit of a mixed report here when we think about that miss on those fiscal second quarter results. But again, that raise on that full year outlook. So suggesting here that beverage sales, especially for their flagship beer brands, are going to be picking up into the final months of this year. Now, specifically, we saw that Constellation Brands posted comparable earnings of $2.52 a share for that fiscal second quarter on net sales of about $2.4 billion. Now, on the top line, that was good for a 5% year-on-year increase increase, though both those earnings and sales figures did still miss expectations on Wall Street. Now, beer sales for brands including Modelo and Corona were the standout performers here, with those rising 14% over last year and 18% compared to the previous quarter, and all of that helping fuel this stronger outlook than had been expected here for Constellation. Now, specifically, the company saying that it expects to see those comparable earnings coming in at as much as $10.45 a share for this full fiscal year. That's up from a previous high-end outlook of $10.30 previously. So that is helping pare a little bit of these losses here, as we can still see Constellation Brands moving to the downside during this afternoon session, but still off some of those lows that we saw during the pre-market trading day, guys.
And Emily, talk about moving to the downside. The airlines getting hit pretty hard. I'm looking at American Airlines and JetBlue in particular. I would think this has something to do.
So this guy Peter Thiel is no joke, man. He got his hand in that Palantir company. He has his hand into a lot of this AI, man, making it for the government. So, all right, so hold up. You know what I mean? So hold up. Got a couple more things I'm gonna talk about.
Stabbing a customer 14 times in front of her child. Deputies say she was angry over a small tip. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Lisa Bell. Matt Austin and Ginger Gadsden have the night off. Tonight, her attempted murder charge has been upgraded to first-degree murder, and there's someone else deputies want to question. Investigators say when 22-year-old Brianna Alvelo came back to the Riviera Motel in Kissimmee on Earl Bronson Memorial Highway, she had a man with her. That hotel is about 1.5 miles southeast of the Silver Spurs Arena. News 6 reporter Stephanie Rodriguez is in Osceola County with the new details about what happened.
It was here at the Riviera Motel that police say a woman was stabbed 14 times by a pizza delivery driver who had dropped off food to her room just an hour and a half before.
Good morning, ma'am. Please state your name.
Brianna Alvelo. According to the arrest report, 22-year-old Brianna Alvelo was working at Marco's Pizza when she stopped by the motel for a delivery on Sunday. She was greeted by Melinda Irizarry, who was in the motel with her boyfriend and 5-year-old daughter. According to police, Irizarry paid her $33 bill with the $50 expecting change. But when Alvelo started to walk away, Irizarry said she didn't want to leave a large tip, but Alvelo said they don't provide change. That's when police say Irizarry began searching her motel room and car for smaller bills, eventually only leaving a $2 tip. Later that night, the family was asleep when police say Alvelo returned. Police say video shows Alvelo and a man wearing face masks arrive at the motel. Irizarry told investigators a man pointed a gun at her boyfriend, forcing him into the bathroom. He told investigators they didn't take anything, but that they knew what they were there for. Alvelo began breaking their belongings and stabbed Irizarry 14 times. Irizarry told police she believed Alvelo was trying to kill her and was afraid for her life and her daughters. She was taken to the hospital for emergency surgery, where she learned she was a few weeks pregnant. Investigators say they came here to the Marco's Pizza on Chaps Place, and the manager confirmed that Alvelo was the one who delivered the order to Riviera Motel. She was arrested right here on Monday. A company spokesperson told News 6 the safety and well-being of customers and team members are always our top priority, and we are taking this incident very seriously. Alvelo is charged with home invasion with a firearm, kidnapping, and aggravated assault. She was originally charged with attempted murder, but is now facing a premeditated murder charge. News 6 is working to confirm who died. She was denied bond.
The state believes that this is a punishable by life offense.
Police continue to search for the man they say helped Alvelo attack the family over a bad tip. Anyone with information is urged to contact them. Reporting in Kissimmee, Stephanie Rodriguez, Getting Results, News 6.
Stephanie, thank you. If you can help investigators identify that man, you're asked to call Crime Line at the number on your screen.
But see, they don't have cameras. They don't have cameras though. All right, so hold up, y'all. I'm gonna play another video. All right, y'all. Let me see. Yeah, man. So I've been. Let's see. All right, hold up, y'all. Or you can let me look into this real quick again. One more time.
On fire. The 67-year-old victim suffered burns to both legs and upper body. At this point, it's not clear whether this was a criminal act, someone did this, or he set himself on fire.
Why? Okay. Wow. Why even report that somebody set him on fire then? All right. So, all right. Why even do that? Why? Now let's get an update on these cops real quick before I get off here. I don't like I'm Willie did about him.
They do be going out of my way not to even cover these type of stories.
No, you know what? Hold on. Let me. Oh, man. Because it sounds like a lot of hype, which people talking about, oh, update. I mean, I don't really see no update. I don't know. I just played this earlier, so I don't really see much of an update. Hold up. Fair use.
This afternoon, we're getting a reaction for you from the disturbing body camera footage just released to the public earlier today. This was released by Attorney General Letitia James. The video capturing brutal moments, beatings inflicted upon a handcuffed inmate. This unfolded at the Marcy Correctional Facility near Utica. The inmate was beaten at the hands of several corrections officers earlier this month. He later died. Dan Levy, a reporter, has been gathering reactions to this video today. We do have a warning for you, though. The images that you're about to see here are certainly quite disturbing.
They are images that are difficult to get out of your head, even for those who have spent their entire career in law enforcement.
I'm angered, I'm saddened, and actually I'm horrified. I'm horrified that a group of professional correction officers in 2024 could act like that.
Albany County Sheriff Craig Apple says he has had to discipline members of his jail staff in the past, although nothing to the level of what Robert Brooks experienced at Marcy Correctional Facility.
Which is worse in your mind? That several people were involved in the beating, or that several others witnessed it and did nothing?
That is the more sad part. It's very disconcerting that you would have a sergeant. I clearly saw stripes in there, and I believe I saw a white shirt, which would usually indicate an officer, meaning a lieutenant or above. You know, you're in violation of not only your oath of office, but where is the humanity? I mean, it's unbelievable that could happen with that. It's a gang. It was a gang.
Our initial reaction from the center was disturbed. And we just find what we saw irreprehensible and unexcusable on the part of the individuals that took part and it's unfortunate.
Tayshawn Murdoch is the Director of Operations at Albany Center for Law and Justice. The unfortunate part of this story, as he sees it, is that what happened to Robert Brooks was not an isolated incident.
I think there's many incidences that we're not hearing about. We know from families who come into our office on a regular basis that they are aware of situations where their loved ones have also been abused and mistreated by corrections officers, only to have a deaf ear turned to them by the Department of Corrections.
Governor Kathy Hochul has called for the termination of 14 state employees, including corrections officers and nurses. In the meantime, Attorney General Letitia James, whose office released the body camera videos today, says her investigators are not finished with this case.
I want to reiterate that we are investigating this case thoroughly and using every tool at our disposal to ensure that there is transparency and accountability for the events that preceded Mr. Brooks's death.
In Albany, Dan Levy, News Channel 13.
With 0% APR for 12 months on all TTRs and the legendary PW50.
There's never been a better time to make their
All right, yeah. So I'm about to get up here, man. I'm gonna holla at y'all, man. Good looking out. Salute for tapping in. Once again, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. This is, just to let y'all know, man. This, it could get real, man. We feel a certain kind of way and treat a certain kind of way, treat each other a certain kind of way, but at the same time, these people treat us a certain kind of way on the streets. We beef and war with each other on the streets, but at the same time, we go in there to get treated like a plain nothing. So we got to really rethink ourselves and rethink our situations, man, as we live them out, man. These people have no mercy on us. They have no love for us. Therefore, we should have that much more love towards each other. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, man, I'm gonna holla at y'all, man. Thanks for tapping in, Dawson. You see what I'm saying? Doc Boss, thanks for tapping in. Mila 101, thanks for tapping in. Hopefully subscribe to the channel. You see what I'm saying? So other than that, I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one, man. All right. Other than that, salute, like, comment, subscribe.